So this is the original ghetto wall, just a fragment left. And when you look at the map of the ghetto, you can see that it had very irregular shape because the Germans used the existing buildings and the existing streets. So it was like zigzagging a lot. And we are on the very southern where this black daughters. We are on the very southern end of the ghetto, and actually here we are standing outside of the ghetto. This is this place where there was like a wall on three sides, and the ghetto was there, and there. And you can see the lower part, the southern part, that was the little ghetto, and then there was something like a corridor with number 1, and then the bigger part of the ghetto further north. So after a while, this part was cut off, and there was a bridge connecting the little and the main ghetto. And if you've seen the pianist, there was the moment when they were crossing this bridge carrying the bag full of books. This was the bridge above Quadra Street, so that's the site where we go next. And first, the little ghetto was liquidated. People were sent to Treblinka, where they were all murdered. And then, after the deportations, the main part of the ghetto was transformed into a kind of a labor camp, so it still existed. It was much smaller than before the deportations. And that's where in 1943 the armed uprising against the Germans started. So here, if you look, we have the synagogue, that's number 5. This is this synagogue which is still standing there. And then we were passing next to the hospital, and that was number 1. So that's the wall of the building, of pre-war building, which was used as the wall of the ghetto. And you can see that few bricks were taken out. One is in the Yad Vashem Museum, one is in the Holocaust Museum in Australia, and yeah, that's the. We have another fragment of the wall behind this building, but now the access there is not so easy. So that's basically everything that is left from the pre-war ghetto wall here. Do we light the candle or?
As we come to the end of our trip, it's important that we not only honor the lives of the victims, but also of those upstanders, the people that had every opportunity to save themselves, but chose to risk their life in order to help others. One such case that happened here in this ghetto is that of Janusz Korczak. He was a pediatrician, an educator, a children's author. He was an early children's rights advocate, and in 1919 he drafted a children's constitution. He spent many of his years from 1911 to 1942 working as the principal of an orphanage in Warsaw for Jewish children. He was offered sanctuary multiple times in the 1940s, but he repeatedly refused and chose to stay with his orphans. This came at the expense of his own health, where despite being in a very fragile condition, he chose to spend much of his time seeking donations and carrying food back to the children's homes. His diary also describes how he tried to preserve the children's mental and emotional well-being. When the entire population of the orphanage institution was sent to the Treblinka extermination camp, he chose to march these streets with over 200 children, get on the train, go to the extermination camp, and walk into the gas chambers with them. And that's how he passed away.
We just lit the candle.
No kind?
And when we talk about the orphanage, number one, that was the location of the orphanage, but it was moved. So you can see that before the war it was there, but then, well, it was outside of the ghetto. So they were moved to this location and later to here, to the very southern border of the ghetto. Actually, the orphanage, the last location was where the Palace of Culture and Science is standing. And then, when they were ordered to go to Umschlagplatz, from where the trains were leaving, they had to cross the whole ghetto because Umschlagplatz was on the very north, number 22. Yeah, so. When it comes to Korczak, we are not certain, but there are rumors saying that that he was offered a chance to save his life, but he didn't want to leave the kids, and they went together to Treblinka. So in Treblinka, the only stone with the name of the person, not the name of the place, is dedicated to Janusz Korczak and the children from the Jewish orphanage.